going to be doing a bit of a different video today. I've not done any videos for a while, so my apologies to my subscribers for that. Yeah, Ed's been a bit up my backside. But yeah, I'm currently rebuilding my Gilera Runner scooter, which I got back from my mum's couple of months ago. Been slowly working on it. It's taking time because I haven't got lots of money, so got to buy a little bit at a time with help from my daughter. So I've just got a new Pulley Variator for it. I've just rebuilt the clutch and the torque driver with a new spring and serviced it. That's my old malossi one. Need a new one of these, but yeah. So it's just gonna be a bit of a different video this. So anyone out there who's into Gilera Runners, tune in and what have you, keep watching. So excuse the absolute mess in the living room. No room in my shed to build this. This is my old Gilera Runner engine that I've completely stripped, rebuilt. It's taken several months, all new parts, collecting parts. So it's got new oil pump, new crank, new bearings everywhere, new seals, the full lot. The kit, the malossi kit, I bought years ago when the scooter first blew up. Well, last blew up. Not first blew up, but... So I bought this kit years ago. Probably won't be able to afford it now. This is all my original polini reblocking inlet. It's looking tidy. Need a new disc for the back. Might change that mudguard. That's the original mudguard I cut down. Excuse the mess, but I'm going to be using my old Scorpion exhaust. It's got a couple of holes in it, but I've been invited down to Scorpion's HQ in Derbyshire, and they've offered to weld it up for free, like kind of under warranty, and they're going to do a little story on it because it's 22 years old that now. And it's, you know, apart from the minor holes in it from that I discovered when I was cleaning it up, it's actually still in good usable condition. Stainless steel. There you go. So keep an eye out for that in the future. So just weighing variators. This is the complete polini variator minus the rollers, because the rollers can be different weights. So the central boss, the main part, the back plate, and the space rear. That all weighs 610 grams. That's the polini one. And then again we've got a malossi. We've got the main part, the boss, the back plate, and the spacer washer. This all falls apart, so we've got to be careful. And that's slightly heavier at 642 grams. So polini's slightly lighter. Interesting. Despite this has got more parts in it. It's got like a spring and grease in it as well. So that's interesting. So polini on the left, malossi on the right. The other big differences are malossi is like the standard one. It just has a loose sliding bush. It's a smooth bush in there. There's no lubrication, no seals or nothing. It just slides right through. Whereas the polini has a seal on either side, and it has like a spring. You get a tool with it that allows you to push you fit the spring inside first, and then you push you call it the tampon. It's a black plastic tapered plug that you push through, which centers the spring and spreads it apart, and then you follow it over the bush, and then the bush is in there. So the bush is greased but sealed. If you can see from here as well, probably why it's lighter. The height of the sides are not quite as high. You can see the ramps. Let's have a look at the side here, this ramp. So that's the ramp on the polini. There's a ramp No, if they're slightly different, the ramps, there will be slightly different angles. I think the Pulley gets steeper near the end of it than the, I don't know, maybe the face of it as well. If that angle looks perfectly the same all the way to the middle. Whereas on this one there's a, you can actually see a slight step. See it? I don't know if that's wear, because this one's been used. Right, look when it was new, but just definitely see that a bit of a lip there. You can actually physically feel it. So yeah, the back plate as well. So the back plate on this was just matte black coated. You can see it's worn off there, and you've got splines in the middle, and it comes with this spacer that you put on first. Whereas the Pulley has no splines in the middle and is very shiny. It's got a special coating apparently to make the slide, and on inside that's polished as well, whereas that's not polished. So yeah, you get this spacer that's got a lip on it which sits in there. At first I thought, how does that work? But when you've got the nut on the end of your crank and the variator is all in, the pressure of it crushes this against this and stops this rotating. But if it does accidentally come loose, this will spin and won't chew all your threads up like the standard one or the malossi one will. So apparently this is a better idea, according to Pulley and to some other YouTube commentators who've had experience with these, because something does go amiss, you're not wrecking your crank. Whereas if your nut came loose on this, that's going to wreck your crank. I don't know. I don't know anyone who's had a variator come loose, but if, let me know in the comments if you have. I never really got on with this variator, and I don't know if it was the variator or the torque spring that came with it. It seemed to not want to shift properly. It wasn't revving right. It was over revving, and then the revs would drop off when the belt would catch. To go with this, I've bought a blue Pulley spring, which is 10% stronger than the standard spring. So I don't know, but it seems to slide a lot easier in the clutch than the malossi one that came with this did. But we'll see. So to go with the Pulley variator, I had this bit I fitted before. It's hardly done any miles. It's actually, I don't know if you can just see, it does say Pulley under the fan there. It's a Pulley clutch, but it's just like a direct replacement for the standard clutch. It's not like a super duper racing clutch that's adjustable. It came with them metallic blue springs. They're supposedly pretty much the same as the standard springs. And there's my Pulley torsion spring. It's the Pulley torsion spring is the same length as the original Piaggio stroke Gilera spring, which is longer. I'll just get the malossi one, what we say. So this is the malossi one. It's quite a lot shorter than the standard spring and this Pulley one. They're about that much longer. But don't seem that much stronger. I did have this daft thing fitted. Now this is a malossi torsion controller. Now it's supposed to go under the clutch, but if anyone who's tried one knows, the only clutch that this will fit in is a malossi clutch. It won't fit in the standard clutch, it won't fit in the Pulley clutch. So I put it on the bottom spring seat, which it actually sits in nicely, but it actually does nothing. The spring actually stayed stationary in this and didn't slide or rotate, and it actually slid and rotated on the top, the black plastic top hat, and slid against the clutch. So this actually does nothing other than add preload to the spring, which may have been the problem I was having with this variator and this spring setup. With the even with heavy rollers in, it was still screaming its knackers off, setting off the lights and that, and then suddenly bogging down. Hopefully this will remedy that. I have ridden a Gilera with a Pulley Variator in before. I built an engine for my friend Andy many years ago, which was a long malossi 172 kit with a PM tuning 55mm long stroke crank, ported, up gear kit, the light and flywheel, the full shebang. It had a big, large cab, large reblock, the full porting work on the casings had done it, and that pulled like an absolute train. And this Variator worked very well in that engine, so I've got good expectations. So yeah, any comments, any questions, just drop them in the comments and I'll get back to you. So another thing to note about the Pulley Variator, and I never really bothered, maybe the reason this has got that ridge there is because the belt never actually rode in the middle, and then I never got the full potential takeoff. Maybe that's a wear mark, I don't know. But this definitely needs either shimming out or machining down. See, this has also got a wear ridge like on the Variator there. So I will be replacing this. Faro Tube and DDL Tuning do a machined one where the angle is changed slightly, so there's a bit taken off, more taken off hit around about here, so you get, it doesn't trap your belt when it's at the lowest position. The Pulley Variator does come with this. It's 0.45mm thick shim, which obviously, well, goes on the other end, goes layer against there like that, to shim it out. If you're using, it says in the instructions if you're using a Pulley belt, which I am, but it's still too tight. So I've ordered some more of these shims from Ped Parts, but I do want to get the machined fixed pulley. This is an old one. This is the 78 tooth one, the later one. Suppose I could get that machine, but you need to get someone who knows what they're doing. But I do think that's a wear mark actually looking at it, because it's in the same place on here as it is. You can actually see it. You can see it dead clear. Yeah. And I think I've been missing out on them lightning fast starts and just not realised it, because the belt's starting about here rather than being right up to here where it should be, because this and the face of the Variator are too close together. Well, not, yeah, too close together when they're, so it needs shimming out more or replacing. Because I've got a new Variator, I do want to replace this. This is 22 years old, and even though it's probably usable, it's, you can feel that step there. Like I say, probably could get it machined, but we'll see. That's a new one of them's on the list to do. I'll have to wait till next month now. But yeah, it'll be interesting, very interesting. Because I remember when my runner was new, I had the standard Variator with this on when it was new. The initial acceleration, when you just blip the throttle from a standstill, it lurched forward like one of my pet tarantulas lunging on a roach, lightning fast. Boom! You know, if you're at the standing start quarter mile at the traffic lights with some guy in his Audi TT next to you revving his engine, I was always first away from the lights, let's put it that way. So alright, get back to you in a bit. And just a quick one on the rollers. The rollers are the same size. They're 17 by 20mm. The Pulley one came with 15.7 gram rollers, which with the stronger spring in there might actually match, because I was using 14.5 gram rollers in my standard Variator with the Pulley belt, which worked really well, and had the standard spring in there. With that being 10% or stronger, that might equate to that. I have ordered some 14.7 gram ones just in case. Obviously Pulley mark the weights on the face, and Malossi put them on the side. I have measured them. Now don't get me wrong, there's not a lot of wear because they didn't do many miles these rollers before I blew my engine up. Well, I didn't blow the engine up, the crank went, PM tuning crank went kaput. But when you measure them this way, which is what really matters, the Pulley ones are slightly wider, even though they are around about the 20 mil mark. They're 19 point odd mil, and these are 20 point odd mil. So it might be the wear, but that just means that these might give a bit of extra higher top speed when the Variator is at full chat. I don't know. That's what it looks like with the rollers in. Made with a different material. They've got aramid fibres mixed in with the plastic in these. Apparently makes them harder wearing. They don't wear out as quick. I'm not quite sure what Malossi using there. It looks similar, but according to Pulley, they do it slightly different. That's what that one looks like. So I do prefer the shiny surface, and that'll probably polish up a bit once the rollers get worn in a bit, just like this one has. See there, you just think they would have made that polished, wouldn't you, but never mind. Yeah, that's that.